Hello there, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how to handle conflict in your relationships. But before I go into all that, if you just came across my video, please do well to watch my previous video. And please subscribe and turn on your notification. This is a new YouTube channel and I'm counting on your support for its growth. So please go ahead and subscribe. Thank you very much. When it comes to properly handling conflict in a relationship or even an attempt to reach any type of resolution, I like to think of it as a black and white type of thing. There are things that are absolute yes and there are things that are absolute no's. Those things that are absolute no's, they serve as a catalyst to prolong things unnecessarily, create extra drama that is not needed, plant seed for future resentment, and just breed negativity all around. And those things that are absolute yes are things that, if simply applied, they allow for quick resolution and healthy resolution. So, the number one thing on my list would be no, you're not always right, and perception isn't everything. Some of us, when we are going through a ruffle in our relationship, we are quick to take the position of I am right and they are wrong. And there is absolutely nothing anybody can do or say to change your mind. I mean, I do understand the feeling of always wanting to be right. But the truth of the matter is, there is no one person in this world that is always right about everything. And it is not that difficult to fathom the fact that you could be wrong about something at some point. So when you allow yourself to get locked in this mindset that the way you see it, the way you view it is the only way out, it makes it even harder for you to ever have any type of healthy conflict resolution at any point in your relationship with anybody. And it helps to understand that perception can be distorted. So simply because you think of something a certain way does not mean it's true. I witnessed a situation while on deployment and I saw everything that happened. And then someone went on to make a comment that perception is everything. And I was like, there and then, I didn't want to ever hear that. And I was like, whoever came up with this? Perception isn't everything, perception is subjective. Just because you view things a certain way or understand a thing a certain way does not mean that your way is the only way and is the only right way. So, there is a possibility that you might have always been right, but there is one time that you could be wrong. And that brings me to my number two. Manipulation and reverse psychology is a no-no when trying to properly handle a conflict in your relationship. Some people are so good at manipulating a situation. They do that by throwing unnecessary accusations, making assumptions, or even emotionally blackmailing the other person. The thing is, people always end up saying through that game, if you're like that, one day somebody will catch up on it and they will not want to deal with you no more and they will not even be interested in even resolving anything with you. And reverse psychology is another form of little evil because people always think that it's a smart thing for me to let me throw this in there first so I don't give them any breathing space. Let me make this argument first so they don't get to it. Those things do not help in any healthy way. They are not smart moves to make and they are certainly not helpful. The third thing on my list is minimization. To properly handle a conflict in your relationship, the idea of minimization is an absolute no. Simply because the thing is not a big deal to you does not mean it's not a big deal to the other person. So diminishing the other person's feeling and opinion and making light of the root cause of the issue does not always help. I do understand that some people use this mechanism as a sign of strength or to demonstrate that they have some certain level of emotional and mental control. But if you cannot as much as bring yourself to, acknowledging the feeling of the other person or a person you care about, that just screams selfishness. So it does help to take a step back and try to understand how the other person feel, even though you have the mental capability to not have those feelings at that moment does not mean that that person's feeling does not deserve any type of validation. And that brings me to my number four. Blame sharing and finger pointing. It's an absolute no when trying to resolve a conflict in your relationship. And this is what blame sharing and finger pointing look like. Oh, if you didn't say this, I wouldn't have said that. But you did this first. But you started it. It's because you said this that I said that. It's because you did this that made me do that. It's because you reacted like that that made me act like that. Oh, this was your action. If you didn't do this, I wouldn't have done that. That just doesn't always help the situation. So it helps to just get out of that mindset. Again, this is another fighting tool people use when trying to resolve the situation. People think, if only I can push the blame to him or her, if only I can put this on them, so I will not be the bad guy in this situation. And that does not help the situation. That just breeds and create extra drama. And my number 5 absolute no is vindictiveness. You can never resolve any type of conflict in your relationship if you are simply vindictive. And this is what being vindictive look like. You keep malice, you withhold any type of care, love, and attention towards that person. You dish out silent treatment. You carry around with negative energy. You speak negatively about that person to people that know you and that person. You hold on to anger just to get back at that person. That just doesn't help at all in any situation. Imagine if you have to quarrel with one particular person like 100 times in the course of your relationship with that person, and every time you run into a conflict with this person, you exercise one of these things, one of these acts of revenge to get back at that person by either keeping malice with them, withholding any type of kindness to them. That is just exhausting. That will wear off any type of relationship. So that brings me to the end of the 5 absolute no's when it comes to handling a conflict in your relationship. And I will see you in the next video when I will talk to you about the absolute yes and things that will help bring a quick resolution and a healthy resolution in your relationship. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Have a great day.